I am Dr. Laura Moreno, and in this video, I want to explain something that surprises many people when they hear it for the first time. Sleeping on a specific side of your body, night after night, can quietly harm your health. Not in an obvious or dramatic way, but slowly, subtly, and often without you realizing where certain symptoms are coming from. The side I'm talking about is sleeping consistently on your right side. This does not mean that sleeping on your right side once in a while is dangerous. The issue is habitual, long-term, almost exclusive right side sleeping, especially when certain symptoms are already present. The body is very good at compensating, sometimes for years, but compensation is not the same as balance. To understand why this matters, we need to talk about how the body uses gravity during sleep. Sleep is not only rest. While you sleep, your body is actively draining fluids, regulating digestion, repairing tissues, and clearing metabolic waste. Gravity plays a role in all of these processes. One of the most important systems affected by sleep position is the digestive system, particularly the stomach and esophagus. The stomach sits slightly to the left side of the body. When you sleep on your right side, gravity can make it easier for stomach acid to move upward toward the esophagus. This is why many people who sleep on their right side experience nighttime reflux, even if they don't feel classic heartburn. Sometimes it shows up as a dry cough, throat irritation, hoarseness in the morning, or a bitter taste when waking up. This is often called silent reflux, and many people never connect it to their sleep position. Sleeping on the left side, in contrast, uses gravity to keep stomach contents lower, reducing the likelihood of acid traveling upward. This is not a theory, it's anatomy. Another system strongly affected by sleep position is the intestinal tract. The natural flow of the large intestine moves upward on the right side of the body, across the abdomen, and downward on the left. Sleeping on the left side supports this natural movement. Sleeping on the right side can slow it down. This matters more than people think. Chronic constipation, bloating, and abdominal discomfort are often influenced by sleep position. Many people change their diet, take supplements, and still struggle without ever considering how gravity during sleep affects intestinal movement. Now let's talk about circulation and lymphatic drainage, which are rarely discussed in relation to sleep posture. The lymphatic system is responsible for removing waste products from tissues, including from the brain. During sleep, this system becomes more active. The position of the body affects how efficiently this drainage happens. Some research and clinical observations suggest that sleeping on the left side may support more efficient lymphatic drainage, particularly because the main lymphatic duct drains into the left side of the body. When drainage is less efficient, people may wake up with facial puffiness, a feeling of heaviness in the head, or mental fog. This doesn't mean that one night on the right side causes harm. It means that years of always sleeping on the same side can influence how well these systems work over time. Another important area is the heart and circulation. Sleeping on the right side can increase pressure on certain structures, especially in people who already have heart conditions, palpitations, or fluid retention. Some people notice that palpitations feel stronger when lying on the right side. Again, this doesn't affect everyone the same way, but for some people, the right side position places the heart in a less comfortable mechanical orientation, especially if there is underlying sensitivity. Breathing is another factor. The lungs are not identical. The right lung is slightly larger, and sleeping on the right side can sometimes affect how air distributes, particularly in people with nasal congestion, allergies, or shallow breathing patterns. This can lead to micro-awakenings during the night, even if the person doesn't fully wake up. Those micro-awakenings fragment sleep. You may sleep many hours, but the sleep is not deep or restorative. The result is waking up tired, with poor concentration, even though you slept enough. Another overlooked issue is musculoskeletal strain. Habitually sleeping on the same side creates asymmetrical tension in the neck, shoulders, hips, and spine. People who always sleep on the right side often develop chronic tension or pain in the right shoulder, right hip, or neck. The body adapts to this posture, but adaptation often means imbalance. Over time, this can contribute to nerve compression, tingling in the arm or hand, and stiffness that feels normal but isn't. Now, an important clarification. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Sleeping on your right side occasionally is not harmful. Rotating positions, sleeping on your back at times, or using supportive pillows can reduce risk. The problem arises when the body has no variation, no chance to rebalance. Many people say, I've always slept on my right side and I feel fine. That may be true now, but many of the effects we're talking about are cumulative. They show up slowly, and they're often blamed on aging, stress, or digestion rather than posture. There are also people who sleep on their right side because they can't get comfortable any other way. This is important. Difficulty sleeping on the left side can be a sign of tightness, breathing issues, or digestive discomfort that deserves attention, not forcing. The goal is not to force a position, but to understand what your body is telling you and to gradually create conditions where healthier positions feel natural. For example, using a pillow behind your back can prevent rolling onto the right side. Placing a pillow between the knees can reduce hip strain. Slightly elevating the head of the bed can reduce reflux if it's present. Breathing through the nose, managing congestion, and reducing late heavy meals can make left side sleeping more comfortable. It's also important to understand that no single sleep position is perfect for everyone. Pregnant individuals, people with certain medical conditions, or those recovering from injury may need specific guidance. This is about general patterns, not rigid rules. What matters is recognizing that sleep posture is not neutral. It influences digestion, circulation, breathing, and nervous system regulation every single night. And when you begin to notice patterns, acid reflux that only happens at night, bloating in the morning, waking up tired despite enough sleep, tension always on one side of the body, it becomes clear that sleep position is not a minor detail. Understanding why sleeping on the right side can be problematic for many people opens the door to learning how to transition safely, how to choose supportive positions, and how to recognize the warning signs that your current sleep posture may be contributing to symptoms you've been trying to fix in other ways. Topics that need to be explored carefully, so changes are helpful rather than forced. Now, this is where many people misunderstand the message and think they need to suddenly force themselves to sleep on the left side all night long. That approach usually fails, and it creates frustration, tension, and even worse, sleep. The body does not respond well to force, especially when it comes to sleep. Adaptation has to be gradual and intelligent. If you have been sleeping on your right side for years, your muscles, joints, and nervous system are accustomed to that position. Switching abruptly can feel uncomfortable, even stressful. That discomfort doesn't mean the left side is wrong for you. It means your body needs time to adjust. One of the most common reasons people avoid sleeping on the left side is digestive discomfort. Ironically, this discomfort often improves once the body adapts, but in the beginning it can feel strange because gravity starts moving gas and intestinal contents differently. This temporary sensation often passes after a few nights. Another reason is shoulder or hip discomfort. If your mattress is too firm or too soft, side sleeping of any kind can create pressure points. This is not a side problem, it's a support problem. A mattress that doesn't distribute weight properly makes any position uncomfortable. Pillow setup also matters more than most people realize. A pillow that is too high or too low can strain the neck and make left side sleeping feel impossible. The neck should stay aligned with the spine, not tilted up or down. Many people blame the position when the real issue is poor support. Breathing plays a huge role as well. People with nasal congestion, allergies, or chronic mouth breathing often feel more comfortable on one side than the other. If breathing is compromised on the left side, the body will instinctively avoid it. Improving nasal breathing can dramatically change sleep comfort. Late meals are another hidden factor. Eating heavy or large meals close to bedtime increases pressure in the abdomen. When lying on the left side, that pressure can feel more noticeable at first. Adjusting meal timing often makes left side sleeping much easier. There is also a nervous system component. The left side is associated with greater parasympathetic activity, the part of the nervous system responsible for relaxation and digestion. For people who live in constant stress, deep relaxation can feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. The body resists it at first. That resistance is not danger, it's habit. This is why some people say they can't relax on their left side. In reality, their nervous system isn't used to fully letting go. Over time, with gentle exposure, that discomfort usually fades. Another important point is sleep variety. The goal is not to sleep on the left side all night, every night, forever. The goal is to avoid being stuck in one single position for years. Rotation is healthy. Sleeping on your back part of the night, on your left side part of the night, and even occasionally on your right side gives the body a chance to redistribute pressure, drain fluids more evenly, and avoid chronic asymmetry. However, many people cannot sleep comfortably on their back because of snoring, breathing issues, or lower back discomfort. In those cases, side sleeping becomes more important, and choosing the side that best supports digestion and circulation makes a difference. It's also worth mentioning that some people feel palpitations or chest awareness when sleeping on certain sides. This does not automatically mean heart disease, but it is a signal that the body is more sensitive in that position. Ignoring that signal is not wise. If you notice that symptoms like reflux, bloating, morning headaches, jaw tension, shoulder pain, or persistent fatigue are worse when you sleep on your right side, that pattern deserves attention. Patterns are how the body communicates. What's often overlooked is that sleep position doesn't work alone. It interacts with hydration, breathing, stress, meal timing, and posture during the day. Improving one area often makes others easier. For example, someone who reduces late-night eating and improves nasal breathing may suddenly find left-side sleeping much more comfortable without effort. This is why sleep posture should never be treated as a rigid rule. It's a dynamic relationship between the body and gravity. Ignoring that relationship doesn't usually cause immediate problems, but over time, it can contribute to symptoms that seem unrelated. Digestive issues, poor sleep quality, one-sided pain, and persistent fatigue. When people finally adjust their sleep posture gently and intelligently, they're often surprised by the changes. Less reflux, better digestion, fewer morning aches, clearer mornings. Not because the position is magical, but because the body is no longer fighting gravity every night. Understanding this allows you to stop blaming your body for symptoms and start working with it instead. Recognizing that how you sleep is not just about comfort, but about supporting systems that quietly work all night long, making sleep position an essential piece of health that deserves as much attention as diet, movement, and stress management, especially when subtle symptoms have been lingering without a clear explanation. Another layer that's important to understand is that sleep position can amplify existing problems, even if it didn't create them in the first place. This is why some people sleep on their right side for years without obvious issues, and then suddenly start noticing symptoms. The position didn't suddenly become harmful. The body's ability to compensate changed. As we age, tissues become less flexible, digestion slows slightly, circulation becomes more sensitive, and recovery takes longer. A position the body tolerated easily at 25 may start creating symptoms at 45 or 60. This is very common and often misunderstood. For example, mild acid reflux that wasn't noticeable before can become more apparent with right-side sleeping as the lower esophageal sphincter weakens over time. The same applies to bloating, gas retention, or slower bowel movements. Gravity starts to matter more. The lymphatic system also becomes less efficient with age and chronic inflammation. If drainage is slightly compromised, facial puffiness, sinus congestion, and morning brain fog become more noticeable. Sleep position can either help or hinder that nightly cleanup process. Another important factor is the brain's waste-clearing system, sometimes referred to as the glymphatic system. This system is most active during deep sleep and relies on fluid movement around brain tissue. Some evidence suggests that side sleeping, particularly left side sleeping, may support this process more efficiently than other positions. While this doesn't mean right side sleeping causes brain problems, it does suggest that chronic positioning can influence how effectively the brain clears metabolic waste over time. Poor clearance doesn't cause immediate symptoms, but it may contribute to long-term cognitive fatigue and reduced mental clarity. This is especially relevant for people who wake up feeling mentally heavy, foggy, or slow, despite adequate sleep. They often focus on sleep duration or supplements, never considering posture. Another overlooked area is jaw and airway positioning. Sleeping on one side consistently can shift jaw alignment over time, especially in people who clench or grind their teeth. This can narrow the airway slightly and affect breathing during sleep. Subtle breathing restriction doesn't always cause snoring or obvious apnea. It can simply reduce oxygen levels enough to fragment sleep. The person sleeps many hours but never reaches deep, restorative stages consistently. Neck position also plays a role. When sleeping on the same side every night, the neck muscles adapt asymmetrically. Over time, this can contribute to nerve irritation, tingling in the arm or hand, and chronic neck stiffness that feels normal but isn't. Many people try to fix these symptoms with stretching or painkillers without addressing the nightly posture that reinforces the problem. It's also important to mention psychological comfort. People often associate one sleep position with safety or habit. Changing it can feel unsettling at first. That doesn't mean the position is wrong. It means the nervous system is used to predictability. Gradual exposure is key. Even spending the first part of the night on the left side and allowing the body to move naturally later can be beneficial. The first sleep cycles are often the deepest, so posture during that time matters most. Small changes compound. A slightly earlier dinner, lighter evening meals, improved hydration during the day, nasal breathing, and supportive pillows can make a position that once felt impossible become comfortable without force. It's also worth noting that sleep quality often improves before sleep duration changes. People may wake up after fewer hours but feel more refreshed. This is a sign that deeper sleep is happening. One of the most common mistakes is trying to correct sleep position in isolation. The body is a system. Posture during the day, how you sit, how you breathe, how tense you are, and how you manage stress all influence what feels comfortable at night. When daytime posture improves, nighttime posture often follows naturally. What matters most is not perfection, but responsiveness. Paying attention to how your body reacts, noticing patterns, and making small adjustments instead of forcing rules. Sleep is not just rest, it's regulation. And how you position your body during those hours sends signals that affect digestion, circulation, breathing, and recovery all at once. When people finally understand this, sleep position stops being a trivial detail and becomes a valuable clue. A clue that helps explain symptoms that didn't make sense before and offers a simple, non-invasive way to support the body's natural processes night after night, especially when combined with other gentle changes that allow the body to work with gravity instead of against it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos where we explain everyday habits, like sleep position, with clear medical reasoning and no myths. Share this video with someone who wakes up with reflux, stiffness, or fatigue and has never considered how they sleep. Leave your questions or experiences in the comments and join me as we keep learning how small nightly habits can quietly shape health, comfort, and recovery over the long term.